Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? It's been a little bit. I've been pretty busy. So for those of you who are new here, I'm Matthew. We are the Scoops. And this is my garden. So it's been hot. It's been getting pretty hot. So Saturday hit 104, Sunday hit 106. Today it was 104 degrees again. I think Phoenix technically hit 107. We're technically on the outer skirts of the main metropolitan area, technically. So it's been getting hot. Now I do have some shade I'm working with here. We're still testing out a few things. It's just sheets. That's literally all it is. It's just sheets. And at the moment, it's just a combination of just tying it to the post. We've got a couple zip ties here. I'm actually going to be redoing our fastening system, I guess you could say. So what I'm planning on doing is actually using paracord and kind of cinching it down a little bit better. We'll probably end up working more on that maybe this upcoming weekend or later on during the week. It's supposed to get a few degrees cooler, closer to the 100 degree, maybe high 90s before jumping back up. So that might be a little bit more manageable as far as temperature goes. I will say I have a few plants that are doing quite well, even with the high temperatures. My watermelons are actually still doing really well. My cantaloupe is still doing really well. My little peas here, which what kind of peas? I think they were just sweet peas. They are just sugar snap peas. Are actually still doing really well. The beans don't look too bad. My zucchini is not liking the temperatures at all. I don't think the squash is caring too much for it. A bell pepper plant does well enough in the evening, but it's not liking the hot temperatures either. So I've got a few plants out here. My basil's still doing okay. My lettuce is done. I just haven't pulled it out yet. I pretty much harvested the last of what we could actually eat. The rest of it, if you look, it's kind of getting tall here. And that is basically, well, it's bolting. It's done. So we harvested some last night. Most of what we harvested was still good. It was still fine. It was not one of the younger plants. It was just getting to where it was starting to bolt. I will tell you this, once it does, lettuce, at least the romaine here, gets a little on the bitter side. So that's one thing to watch out for here. Now, lettuce is going to be getting uprooted here. I'm going to keep an eye on the zucchini and the squash. I'm also keeping a closer eye on my watering. With it getting hotter and hotter, and yeah, it hit 106 degrees yesterday. That's not even the peak, all right? Once it actually gets hot here, 106 degrees is going to feel quite nice. 115, 118, 120 is not exactly new to this area. It gets really hot, so I'm a little concerned with how a lot of the plants are doing. The pepper plants, outside of the bell pepper plants, again, seem to be doing just fine. The cantaloupe and the watermelon don't seem to be fazed by it at all. So I'm going to keep an eye on the watering. I may end up watering a little more often. I don't want to overwater still, so I'm going to have to kind of play around with that and see how that goes. My onions are still looking just fine. I'm still keeping an eye on those as well, but for the time being, they still don't look too bad. My tomato plants actually are okay. The larger breeds here, basically the slicers, don't seem to be caring for the high temperature so far too. But my cherry tomato plant here seems to be unfazed so far. So I've actually let that one start flowering and see if I can't get some tomatoes forming on that. It is a little late for these. I actually should have planted these earlier, and from what I've seen so far, I would be pretty much harvesting right now. But I waited a little too long to get them in. So we'll see how these do. I mean, you know, worst case scenario, I'll only get a handful of tomatoes. Well, technically, worst case scenario would be I get none, but I think I'll get at least a handful, and I'm okay with that. They've been doing quite well so far. I just know to get them started a little bit earlier this next season, you know. So my cucumbers, they're producing. We've gotten a few so far. I did let a couple of the ones that I harvested stay on the vine a little too long. Again, they got real tough. The skin was a little on the tougher side, and they get kind of bitter also. So cucumbers is another one you want to kind of harvest early. So I got to keep an eye on that. I'm going to be testing a few different harvesting points. So I've got one that I'm about to actually, I'm probably going to go ahead and cut tonight. And then I got a few of these smaller ones. I'm going to let them go just a little bit more and then get those. I think these ones, maybe I'm supposed to harvest them a little bit earlier. I'll show you some of them here. That's just a couple of them. I've been pruning on these, but again, they don't seem to be liking the hot temperature too much either. So we'll see how these all go. Again, if you're new to the channel, before I continue here, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when we get a new video up. I've been a little busy lately, so instead of uploading every day or several times a week, it's been, you know, once every couple weeks. Right now, of course, it's the end of the school year, and our youngest son, Avery, is actually graduating next week. So had a whole lot of stuff going on with that. His official last day is this Friday, so we're quite excited about that. So after next week, we'll just have the one left in high school, and then we're done with the school for now, as far as high school goes. So needless to say, it's been really busy, but it's one of those times of the year where, yes, it's busy, but it's a good kind of busy. All right, you know what has been done to get to this point, all the hard work that's gone into it, so we're quite proud of them. So that being said, our videos have been a little more sporadic. That will be changing hopefully here really soon. I don't know if I'm going to go back to uploading every single day, but I think I'm going to start uploading close to it. So we'll see how that goes. I got a whole lot of things that I really want to start working on here. I've actually got a few things that I'm going to probably look at maybe trying to transplant here in the month of May here in Arizona. So we'll see how that all goes. I definitely want to work on some more shading here, getting a good watering schedule down. Again, it's my first year gardening here. One thing I will say about this is where it's at right now, even though some of it's struggling with the temperatures, this garden here has also given me a whole lot of hope. And what I mean by that is it's basically telling me that I can do this. I can actually do this. Yes, most of this I probably should have started earlier in the year. I didn't, but I've managed to get it to this point. And so I know I can do this. I know I can do it at a bigger scale, or at least I will be able to do it at a bigger scale at some point. So I'm quite happy with that. Otherwise, that's kind of where we're at right here. It's been a whole lot of just watching the garden, getting some shading in place, watching the watering, starting to kind of up the watering a little bit more. Again, I'm trying not to overwater, so I am paying attention to the soil and paying attention to the plants, because they kind of let me know when they need water. It is a little confusing right now as far as what needs water and what is just not liking the heat. So I'm kind of having to pay attention to that a little bit. As I get better at that, hopefully I'll be able to share some tips on desert gardening as it is. Yeah, otherwise, that's going to do it for us today, I think. I got some dinner I need to get cooking here. I'm going to come back a little bit later out here once the sun's gone down a little bit more and it's not quite as warm out here, and do some watering. And yeah, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.